Hello everyone, today we are going to be doing what I'm going to call the Chicago Challenge or the Gauntlet. I'm not too sure yet. Basically, you get one day to do a museum, a sports game, any sport, any museum, and one like cultural or art thing. So for us, we're going to a concert, but it could be like a farmer's market, it could be something on the river, it could be a beach day, just something that might be a little bit more artsy or relaxing, something like that. But it is Saturday, May 23rd, and our day is going to consist of going to the Museum of Science and Industry, then a Chicago Fire game, and ending with a Lupe Fiasco concert. So hopefully the day goes well, hopefully everything goes to plan, and hopefully it's a great time.
That's so cool.
So we didn't record a lot of talking segments during the day. So I'm filming this after, but I'll talk you through how everything went, what was awesome, maybe what wasn't. And I'll try and put as much up on the screen as I can. We did get a lot of filming done, just not a lot of talking head like I'm doing right now. So we got to the museum, and there was just a bunch of random things that I didn't really expect there to be or didn't remember. It had been 9 years since I had been. But there was stuff like a racing suit to talk about fireproofing and all of that. There was a history of cameras exhibit that I thought was really cool as someone who enjoys all that. But we were kind of playing around in the upstairs for about an hour when we got there until we went down to the coal mine exhibit. Rory wanted to do that for her birthday. So we went down the coal mine exhibit with her parents. And that was interesting. Definitely more geared towards kids who maybe don't know any science about that kind of stuff or anything like that, which is fine. Definitely the whole museum is geared towards kids. But we did that. We got some lunch. And then we had a bunch of time until our next scheduled exhibit. So her parents bought us tickets to the Spider-Man exhibit. I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Man, but I thought it was enjoyable. Rory thought it was fine. She's less of a Spider-Man fan than I am. But it was cool. There were some costumes there. There was a bunch of art. There were models of the Into the Spider-Verse characters, and then of course there was a whole gift shop at the end with a bunch of different Spider-Man themed things. The next thing she wanted to do was check out the chicks. There's a farm science exhibit in the museum, and they usually have chicks that are incubating, ready to be hatched. So we made sure to go there, check that all out. We actually saw a couple that had freshly hatched, and then they also have some that are a little bit older, but still just baby chicklings. So we did that, and then apparently there's also a mirror maze. There were a couple kids in there that I think maybe were lost. I'm not really sure how they would get a lost child out of there, except for someone who knows the maze inside and out, I suppose, like a security guard or whatever. But yeah, they were just kind of they seemed lost. We went in and they were in front of us, and then their parent or older sibling or whatever just kind of left, and the children didn't know or something like that. It was very strange. But it was pretty in there. There were lots of different colored lights. So it made a fun experience, and we didn't have to pay anything to try it. Then we went to the space part of the museum, and I was surprised with what was in there, especially because there is such a big planetarium in Chicago. I thought maybe anything in the Science and Industry Museum is just a replica or just photos or whatever. But there was an actual space capsule or two in there. And then there were some other replicas and whatnot, and just random items that would have been to space. And So it was still a good experience for sure. I was really surprised by what could have possibly been in this museum. But then, and I don't have any footage of this because we weren't allowed to take any, and I totally understand why. We did the Anne Frank exhibit, which is fairly new to the museum. It might be traveling around. I guess some of it came from, I believe, the Netherlands, where the Anne Frank house is. And basically, you go in and you get like this. It's almost like an iPod in a way, and you hold it up to your ear and you like scan different things, and you get all of this narrated audio about the timeline of events and some descriptions of what you're looking at, some of the items. I can read and speak a little bit of German, so I was able to understand some of the exhibit items without needing that narration. But it was really interesting. There was a lot of context provided, and it kind of spanned like a whole thing from like her parents growing up, maybe even her grandparents in a way at the start, until the book got published, and I guess there were like musicals or plays made on it, which I don't really know how I feel about all that. But it was super educational, probably the most educational thing that existed in that museum, at least that we saw. The only thing we didn't do was see this costume exhibit, but we didn't really care too much about that, so we just didn't go. Then we went to the fire game, which is only about 10-15 minutes of a drive away, and of course we tailgated.
Okay, it's been a day. I'm so tired. Not sponsored by Topo. And now we're here, and I'm ravenous, and the museum was really fun. I got to stand in a tornado thing, and my mom came with us, and so did my dad, and we just had a good time. And now we're at the Chicago Fire game, and A1 Michael is making me a brat so that way I don't become hangry later. So, thank God for Michael.
We saw a whole bunch of our friends. We even made new friends we didn't really meet them until after the game, but they were parked right next to us, flying their flag. Great group of people. If they or anyone else see us again at a game in the future, stop by. For sure, we'd love to hang out more, and hopefully we get to see them again. This time I did bring the camera into the stadium, so the footage is quite wider compared to when I was shooting on the phone for the last one, but the seats are still awesome. We got there into the stadium a little late.
Chicago Fire!
So we were sitting a little bit back into the section as opposed to right in the front row. It was a good time. Met up with some friends. And after the game, which Chicago won, awesome game by the way, there was a Lupe Fiasco concert.
Hey, what up, Chicago?
And it was a good time. I'm a little upset that he cut Jump short. That is one of my favorite Lupe Fiasco songs, but everything else was incredible to watch, incredible to listen to. It was a great day, and hopefully you get inspired to go spend the day somewhere, even if it's not in Chicago, and just see a bunch of things that you've been meaning to see, do what you want to do, and enjoy life. So until next time, thanks for watching.
In the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun up? Remember when you come up?